All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into one of the absolute core engines of decentralized finance, or DeFi. It's called the automated market maker, and this piece of technology completely changed the game for crypto trading. But to really get a handle on it, we've got to start with a pretty fundamental question. I mean, in a world that never, ever sleeps, how can you possibly trade digital assets anytime, anywhere, without needing a traditional exchange, or a bank, or really any company in the middle to match your order with somebody else's? Well, the answer is the automated market maker, or AMM. Now, you should think of this less like a stock market and, more like a super smart vending machine. It's this autonomous system that uses code, we're talking smart contracts, and a big ol' stash of tokens called liquidity pools to let you trade instantly. You're not trading with another person, you're trading directly against the pool of assets that's right there inside the machine. So yeah, let's really lean into this vending machine idea, because honestly, it's the best way to get a feel for how all this works. Just imagine a machine that's always on, it's open to literally everyone, and it runs based on one simple but incredibly powerful rule. And this right here, this is the brain of the whole operation. It's just a simple piece of math. X times Y equals K. So X is just the amount of one token in the machine, and Y is the amount of the other. The K part, that's a constant value that the machine's code has to maintain no matter what. This one little formula is what makes the market, well, automated. Okay, so let's stock up our vending machine. As one of our sources playfully suggests, let's just imagine for a second we're trading potatoes and cheese instead of crypto tokens. We start by putting in an equal value of each one. So in our case, we've got 50,000 potatoes and 50,000 pieces of cheese. And for now, we'll just say they're both worth $1 each. And now we use our formula. So 50,000 potatoes times 50,000 pieces of cheese, that gives us our constant, K, which is a whopping 2.5 billion. This number is now set in stone by the smart contract. Every single trade from this point on has to result in a new inventory of potatoes and cheese that still multiplies to exactly 2.5 billion. Okay, so a farmer comes along, he's got a bunch of extra potatoes and he wants some cheese. He puts 7,000 potatoes into our machine. The potato inventory is now 57,000. Now, to keep our K constant at 2.5 billion, the math says the cheese inventory has to shrink. So 2.5 billion divided by 57,000 is about 43,859. The machine then spits out the difference, 6,141 pieces of cheese, to the farmer. But wait a minute, notice something odd? He put in 7,000 but only got back 6,141. Why? Well, it's all about supply and demand happening right inside the machine. Because the supply of potatoes in the pool went up, their price automatically dropped, down to 88 cents. And because the supply of cheese went down, its price automatically went up to $1.14. The formula is the market, constantly tweaking the prices based on the balance of the assets. Okay, so let's move away from potatoes and cheese and get back to the real world of DeFi. Who are the actual people interacting with this automated machine? Well, there are two main roles you need to know. First up, you've got the liquidity providers, or LPs. These are the folks who stock the vending machine. They'll deposit a pair of tokens, say Ethereum and a stablecoin like USDC, into the pool. In return, they get a kind of receipt. It's called an LP token, and it represents their share of that pool. Now, why would they do this? This is the key. They earn a small cut of the fees from every single trade that happens in their pool. And then, of course, you have the traders. These are the people using the vending machine, swapping one token for another. But there's a really crucial detail here, something called slippage. Remember how our potato farmer didn't get a perfect one-for-one trade? Well, if a trader makes a really big trade compared to the size of the pool, they can shift that balance so much that the price slips while their trade is actually happening. Now, being a liquidity provider sounds pretty good, right? You're just sitting back, earning passive income from fees, but it's not risk-free. In fact, there's a very specific and unique risk that every single LP has to think about, and it's called impermanent loss. This is a bit of a tricky concept, but it's so important. It's the potential loss in value you can experience as an LP when the price of your deposited tokens changes compared to what you would have had if you just held on to them in your wallet. So let's see what this actually looks like in practice. Let's say one of your tokens doubles in price. You'd think you'd be doing fantastic. But because the AMM is constantly rebalancing your assets to stick to its formula, your position as an LP is actually worth about 5.7% less than if you had just held those tokens. The whole gamble for an LP is whether the fees they earn can make up for that potential loss. And yeah, don't let the name impermanent fool you. As our source material points out so well, the loss is only impermanent if the token prices go right back to where they were when you first put them in. The moment you pull your funds out when the prices are different, that loss becomes very, very permanent. So even with this risk, AMMs have become a true cornerstone of DeFi. They're not just some novelty, they represent a really fundamental shift in how markets can be built and run. And man, are they evolving. So why does all this matter? I mean, just think about it. Anyone can create a market for any token without asking for permission from anybody. They act like financial Lego blocks that other applications can just snap into and build on top of. And maybe most important of all, there's no central gatekeeper to shut things down or censor transactions. It's a huge engine for a whole new kind of financial innovation. And this tech is getting better fast. Take a look at a popular AMM like Uniswap. The early versions were simple. Your money, your liquidity, was spread thin across all possible prices, from 0 to infinity. But that's not very efficient, right? Most of that money just sits there doing nothing. The next generation, like Uniswap v3, brought in concentrated liquidity. It lets LPs focus their capital only within specific price ranges where all the trading is actually happening. Now, the result of this evolution is kind of a double-edged sword. For traders, it's great. It means more liquidity where it's needed, which gives them better prices and less slippage. But for the liquidity providers, it means that while they could earn way higher returns, their strategy goes from being passive to something that needs active management. It just adds a whole new layer of complexity to the game. So, in the end, AMMs took the job of a traditional market maker and turned it into an autonomous, totally transparent piece of code. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other complex roles at the very heart of our financial system are just waiting to be automated by the next clever bit of math?